Meanwhile, Israel has announced the killing of Hamas chief Yahya Sinwar, the mastermind of the October 7th attacks, calling his death a heavy blow to the Palestinian group. Now, the Israeli military said that after a year-long hunt, troops eliminated Yahya Sinwar in an operation in the southern Gaza Strip. The Israeli army released a drone video showing what it said were images of Sinwar before he was killed in Rafah's Tal el Sultan area. Footage shows a dust-covered figure in traditional scarf alone in a blown-up apartment, throwing a stick at the approaching drone during his final moments. The Israeli army spokesman, Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari, said the forces identified 3 terrorists who were going from home to home on the run. Troops engaged the group, forcing Sinwar to flee as the group dispersed after being shot. Sinwar ran away alone into one of the buildings, injuring his hand in the shooting.
We identified him as a terrorist inside a building. We fired at the building and then entered to search. We found him with a vest, a gun and 40,000 shekels. He was on the run, fled, and our forces eliminated him.
While the Israeli army for a year had been hunting for its most wanted target in Hamas's tunnels beneath Gaza, they had a chance to encounter with him in the ruins of the Gaza coastal strip. Reports claim the IDF troops called for a tank to fire into the building when they saw Hamas fighters entering a building in Rafah. Afterwards, the soldiers found 3 dead men in the rubble and were struck by the familiar look of one of them. First, the troops noticed a mole next to the man's left eye. Then his chipped teeth matched photos of Sinwar's mouth. With the photographs of his teeth and the DNA samples recovered for testing, Israeli police explained how it identified the body of the Hamas leader after it was taken to a forensic facility in Tel Aviv.
The volunteering dentists of the Israel police received photos of his teeth from the field and compared them to previous data and verified an identification of Yahya Sinwar. At the same time, samples of the body arrived at the Forensic Medicine Institute. We took fingerprints and compared them to the Israel police databases. The Forensic Research Institute produced a DNA profile, transferred it to the Israel police DNA database, and in both cases we found a match to Yahya Sinwar.
The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that the killing of the Hamas chief is just the beginning of the end of the war in Gaza. He said that there could be an end to the war in Gaza if Hamas laid down their arms and returned all the hostages.
Yahya Sinwar is dead. He was killed in Rafah by the brave soldiers of the Israel Defense Forces. While this is not the end of the war in Gaza, it's the beginning of the end. To the people of Gaza, I have a simple message. This war can end tomorrow. It can end if Hamas lays down its arms and returns our hostages.
The Israeli army said that no hostages were with the Hamas chief Yahya Sinwar when he was killed by the IDF. Hamas has not yet confirmed Sinwar's death. Al-Majid, a Hamas-linked website that publishes about security issues, urged Palestinians to wait for information about Sinwar from the group itself. Now, about Yahya Sinwar. He was born in 1962. He was named as Hamas's overall leader following the assassination of political chief Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran in July. Once tasked with punishing Palestinians suspected of informing for Israel, Sinwar made his name as a prison leader. He emerged as a street hero in Gaza after serving more than 20 years in an Israeli jail for masterminding the abduction and the murder of 2 Israeli soldiers and 4 Palestinians. He was freed in 2011 as part of an exchange of more than 1,000 prisoners for 1 kidnapped Israeli soldier held in Gaza. Sinwar then quickly rose to the top of the Hamas ranks. Meanwhile, Iran said that the killing of Yahya Sinwar will lead to the strengthening of the resistance in the region. Tehran's mission to the United Nations said he will become a model for the youth and children who will carry forward his path toward the liberation of Palestine. Our correspondent Jody Cohen is now joining us live from Ra'anana in Israel. Jody, hi, good to have you with us. A lot is being said about Yahya Sinwar's alleged death, and some world leaders have in fact even suggested that Sinwar's death now provides an opportunity for a deal. Is that even likely?
Hi, Isha. Yes, so President Biden, for example, gave a statement. He said that Sinwar's killing was a good day for Israel and the world, and he compared it to President Obama ordering the killing of Osama bin Laden after 9/11. He said that Israel has every right to eliminate the leadership and military structure of Hamas, and said that now is an opportunity for the day after in Gaza without Hamas in power. Now, Biden called Prime Minister Netanyahu to congratulate him, and the leaders reportedly agreed on the opportunity to move towards a hostage deal, and Israel's Prime Minister's office have said that they're going to be working together to achieve that. We know that US Secretary of State Antony Blinken has already been on the phone with his Qatari and Saudi counterparts to discuss next steps. Netanyahu, as you said, gave a statement. He called Sinwar's death the beginning of the end of the war in Gaza, and said that the war can end tomorrow if Hamas lays down its arms and returns the hostages. He said that Israel would guarantee safety to anyone who returns hostages, but that if anyone hurts the hostages, Israel would bring them to justice.
While on the one hand there is talk of a deal, Hamas on the other hand has suggested that it would increase its fighting. What more can you tell us about that?
Yes, it's not just statements from Hamas. We're also hearing Iran's mission to the UN has said that, the opposite of potentially a deal, that this fighting would be strengthened following Sinwar's death. And also Iranian proxy Hezbollah has said that a new escalatory phase in its war against Israel has begun. We know that the IDF as well, they're searching for Sinwar's brother Mohammed and all Hamas military commanders. And the IDF has said that they would continue to target Hamas terrorists and infrastructure until Hamas surrenders and releases the hostages. Now, the US has said that Sinwar was an insurmountable obstacle to achieving a deal, that he rebuffed multiple efforts to bringing about the end of the war over the past month, but that they hope that Sinwar's replacement would look at the suffering Sinwar caused and choose a different path. So it remains to be seen which way this is going to go now.
Indeed, it does remain to be seen which way it's going to go. Thank you so much, Jody, for joining us with the latest on this. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.